Oh, good.
Game.
I'm back. He's suspicious of me. For good reason.
Good morning, Western Mid-Michigan. Thank you so much for listening to yet another episode of Continuous Miracle Radio. Right here on WGLM 106.3. Scott here with you this morning. So glad you could join us. We've got, well, barely, but we've got co-host Mike in the studio this morning.
Well, hello, folks. I got to tell you, my blood pressure's up where it ought to be, thanks to the staff at the United Memorial Hospital once again, and my sister's kind of constant nagging, but it all helped. I'm back. And it's a beautiful day here in Greenville.
It is a beautiful day. Mike spent a couple days at the hospital down there and made sure everyone was doing their jobs.
Yes, sir. Especially the staff in the kitchen. Boy, I had some good food.
Ooh, you ate pretty good when you were
Yes,
there,
sir.
Huh? Not very often you get a compliment from hospital food. But you got one from Mike, sir.
Oh, come on. Hospital food gets a bad rap, and it's usually pretty good.
Well, I agree.
For a change, they even put a bunch of salt on the tray.
Oh, my goodness. Boy, things gotten sideways since I've been there.
Well, I was sideways when I went in.
I know.
Blood pressure 60/40 keeps you sort of out of the game.
Yeah, you're not paying much attention.
Yeah, that one.
Well, we're glad you're here with us.
So am I.
And thank you to our friends down there in the street at United Memorial Hospital for taking good care of Mike, getting him back on his feet, out here helping folks again, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And as he was in such a good shape today, I was able to bring Cara with me.
Yes. Yeah, you guys been cavorting about the countryside already this morning. Beautiful day for a ride, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. 60-mile jaunt or so.
Yeah, good for us. And
Hooray.
Thanks for bringing Cara in.
Thank you.
This morning. We got Dangerous Darren on the dials this morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Sir. Thank you for your service here on a Sunday morning. Good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
How's things in Darren land? I never asked.
Oh, they're going good. Birthday last week. Everything went nice and smooth
I
for
saw
the
that
most part.
birthday. Happy birthday
Yeah,
to you.
thank you.
Hey.
Yeah.
I remember when I was that young. Long time ago, but I remember it.
It was a long time
That was
ago.
back in the 1890s, right, Mike?
Yes, sir. Pretty accurate summation. Hang in there.
Well, we're all getting older a day at a time. There's no avoiding it.
Century at a
there
time.
is. I guess you could avoid it. And we've got a guest in here this morning with us, Miss Cara.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and Cara's involved with the jail ministries today, nowadays, but she's got an interesting journey in recovery that actually started 40 years ago, she was telling me,
Yes.
which is quite a journey.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a journey. And, boy, did you know Mike back then?
I was an older figure then.
Grandpa Mike from the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that part. So, Cara, tell me a little bit about your start in recovery 40 years ago.
Yeah. Well,
Because these are, we were talking previous to the show, but this is where seeds can be planted for folks. If you're youthful and still encountering some difficulty with substance abuse, and maybe somebody points you in the direction of an AA meeting or a NA,
Right.
in your case, meeting, or some sort of recovery substance abuse program, it might be a good idea to go in there and listen a little bit with an open mind. Doesn't mean things might catch right away, but at least you'll get a better idea of what goes on, and that's about the education piece of the recovery community. We'll never find out if we don't go. We'll never find out if we're not walking into a substance abuse meeting and with an open mind and trying to become a little more educated about what's going on with us.
Willing to try something new.
Willing to try something new or different.
Yeah.
And that's much what Cara's going to share with us. She did 40 years ago. And look at her.
Yeah.
She's here with us today. You know, there's a
Oh.
reason.
Definitely.
So tell us a little bit about your beginnings, dear.
Well, when I was growing up, I was into sports. My dad was a tennis coach. My mom was eventually my swim coach. And those were the two sports I was involved in. Had pretty, just a normal upbringing. And I found, like, going into high school that, I struggled with, like, self-esteem and,
Socialization,
yeah.
getting along with folks,
Yeah, I just,
awkward.
definitely awkward. I grew like almost a whole foot in 1 year when I was in
I
high
say
school.
you're a pretty tall drink of water.
I am.
I thought Mike was kind of tall, but nope.
That's my superpower though now.
Sure.
Yeah.
I grew both my feet as a baby.
Oh, wow.
And you
That's
grew
good.
1 foot 1 year.
I did. I have 3 now. So, yeah, I just didn't feel like I was also adopted, and I just didn't feel like I fit into any peer social group. And so I just started experimenting with alcohol, and back then it was cigarettes. I started smoking cigarettes and all kinds of ridiculous behavior, just to
Trying to feel different.
yeah, just trying to feel normal, I guess.
With no blueprint to follow.
No blueprint, and I just
Experimentation.
yeah, and it grabbed me. I mean, I knew it grabbed me from when the first few times that I used alcohol, and I felt this, like I needed more almost immediately, or that was something I liked to do then. It made me feel
Sense of
my
euphoria.
yeah, my inhibitions. It gave me that liquid courage, to just be myself. And so that's when my my coping behavior started. It was like how I was coping to be normal in society. And little did I know, those patterns, they followed me through every decade of my life, those patterns I formed then.
They're difficult once they get established in your youth.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
how to overcome some of that and break that down and then start doing things different. So,
Yeah, it is pointed out that while our brain's still developing up to age 25, we wind up with really poor coping skills when, like what you were explaining, and they carry forward. And sometimes it's called child developmental syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And they carry with us, just like you said, throughout life, and trying to find out that stuff like that is a bit of a journey, isn't it?
It is, and I'm still learning. So, I'm almost 60, so.
I remember being that young. It was a long time ago, but I remember it.
In 1812.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, that was the war.
Yeah, that's the war I want to talk about. That was a big event. We had a war back then, folks, 1812. We'll talk about it some other time.
We still got wars.
And, for people my age, growing up in, the late 70s, early 80s, if you had any kind of problem, you were supposed to just handle it. You need to handle that. And
Well, there wasn't a lot of, that was then.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of recovery options, and there wasn't a lot of, like today they have counselors in the schools if you're struggling with something for the younger folks in 70s and 80s, because I was there.
Yeah, you were there?
And yeah, it was just the way it was.
Yeah.
You just handle your business however you knew how. And if
Yeah,
you
or just
level
knock
up
it
or
off. I
whatever.
remember stop that. You just stop that. And so I would try, I would really try. I'd try to just stop that or knock it off. But it wasn't lasting, it was until next time.
Yeah,
for
and
me.
that was because resources. That as we've grown as a society, more resources have become available for younger folks,
Yeah.
and more mature folks as well.
And I think it's because we can be open enough to share, what our struggles were. And, you know, our generation has been through this, and so many of us have gotten healthy that now, you know, we can talk about it. And
Sure. What I remember, I was kind of young then too. It was that I wasn't given a blueprint to how knock that off,
Right.
stop that crap, but never an instruction how. And it took a long time to learn those instructions. And for me, a lot of it came from AA, or most all of it did.
right, yeah. And our parents didn't know either. You know, they had no idea. You know.
Well, until the sheriff was in the driveway.
Yeah. Well, even then, it's like, will you just stop doing that? You know, and I'd be like, yes, I will. I'll just stop doing that. But my,
All they
you
know.
Yeah, my disease was, just no. That was for yesterday. That's not for today. Or, yeah, it was just a repetitive cycle for me of, trying to do it by myself, just trying to do what I was told to do, but I wasn't able. It's beyond me.
So did you develop the phenomena of craving?
Oh,
for
yeah.
alcohol?
Yeah. For any time I was feeling, if I'm happy, if I was sad, if I was mad, yeah, any of those times, any kind of feeling, I just would medicate it.
I'd like to sort of clarify something. With an alcoholic, the phenomenon of craving is a biological thing. But with an
And
addict,
it's a fact.
yeah, and then with an addict, they call it the cycle of craving. And you pointed out that where you felt sad or whatever, you start to use. Well, that's what starts the cycle of craving for an addict. Is in your mind you got some idea this is gonna, and then you get obsessed with it. Next thing you know, there you are down the dope dealer again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Rinse and repeat.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's because of what we trained ourselves to do.
And with no
Yeah.
instruction going forward how
Right,
to do
right.
something different,
Right.
there you are again.
Right.
Other than stop that.
Yeah,
Knock it off, Carl.
What is
Well,
wrong
Nancy
with you,
Reagan
you know?
was popping up around there. Just
Just say no.
Yeah.
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 I didn't have that in my vocabulary then.
No, we
wasn't
did have
that.
the
Yeah.
egg though, or the lady.
I think it was more like, what's next?
Yep.
And why would I say no?
And when you're young too, you think you have that you're superhuman, and
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
or you're smarter than this, and you'll eventually stop, or that's what my mind was telling me anyways, is that, oh, I got this,
You ever had the smartest guy in the room aspect, Mike? You want
Oh,
to
yeah.
touch on that? You want to
Well,
touch on that?
Well, I know about being the smartest guy in the room,
Oh,
or
yes,
feeling
you
that
do.
way. But the trouble with being the smartest guy in the room is you fail to ask for advice about anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing. It's okay to be smart, but to not ask
Well,
for
we let
advice.
you go be smart for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. He likes to have fun. I told him once I still feel like I'm one of the smartest guys in the room, and he wants to run with that. But the
I
trouble
just
with
agreed to you.
the
Agreed
trouble with
you.
that usually is that it's hard to learn anything when you're already at
Oh,
that
right.
point. And this whole program is about learning new things and new approaches to life.
Re-education.
Recovery is the same way. If you've got your mind made up about recovery, like it's impossible for me. You've been told what it is by somebody else who's never been.
Sure.
You're beat already. We were
Just knock
talking
it
about
off.
that. Yeah, you got to have an open mind in recovery too.
And therein lies the problem for the smartest guy in the room, because he
Yes,
knows everything. Why
yeah.
would he open his mind to anything?
Yeah.
Keep flailing away. You're doing great.
There's a reason why people recognize it, 'cause they were once the smartest guy in the room.
There's a lot of folks out there. Smartest guy in the room.
Definitely.
We've encountered our share of them in this journey.
Yeah, well, we all think we got that. That's our ego,
Oh.
and that thing. I'm surrounded by ego in the room right now.
Yeah.
Darren, settle down. He's got all the controls. We're just talking.
There's a Dunning-Kruger effect at work there, where a person doesn't bright enough to know what they don't know. So when they get a little bit of insight to something, they think they got it all.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that trouble really comes in. It's like that person with 63 days sobriety who's already been to see a therapist twice, and he got this.
Oh, right, right.
Doesn't need to listen to anything anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. I see that a lot.
We
And
talked
I've been
about
through
that
that
on
a
the way
lot.
here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, your early stages, though, I mean, you described it pretty well. How you set kind of the addictive lifestyle in motion with some of the behaviors you tried to cultivate to learn to become normal, right?
Right. That's right.
And then was there any derailing along the way?
Oh, lots of it. Lots of
A few interludes.
I thought I started getting in trouble with the law. I just really was not a good criminal. I mean, it was always, hey, it's the tall girl. She did that. You know, it was
I
like,
can't see her bolting down the street 6'6".
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
where you going?
right. But yeah, so it was just the insanity of it. Just, wanting what I wanted, and was surrounded by other people who wanted what they wanted. It was such a fine group of individuals were we, And,
So you're getting your advice from a criminal element that's got an addiction issue.
Oh, yeah.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, right. Blind leading the blind. And so it seems like a totally different lifetime. But
miracle
yeah,
that
it
is
happened.
you got through it all, and you're here to talk to us about it a little bit today. So.
Yeah.
Dangerous is telling me we're going to take a little break here, and then we'll come back and continue this conversation. 'Cause I know Mike's got a couple of questions lined up.
About 1812.
Yeah, about 1812 or more. So come on back and join us right after these brief messages from our sponsors, the Mac, Guiding Light, Randy's House. Come on back and join us. We'll be right back.
We had wooden hulls in those days.
Huh?
We had wooden hulls in those days. It was a rough sea battle.
Yeah.
Well.
Scott here, back with you on Continuous Miracle Radio, WGLM 106.3. Thank you again to our sponsors, Randy's House, Guiding Light, and the Mount Calm Alano Club for helping us bring this show on the air for you folks today. It's a we program. So, as we were talking, thank you, Darren. Darren's mentioned our phone is working today, which is always a good thing. 616-754-1063. Get better.
You're getting better.
Yeah.
So before the break, or after the break here, before the break, we were talking a little bit with Cara here about what kind of set her addiction in motion in her youth, 40 years ago. And then what she did when she got to, proceeded to maybe point it in a different direction and got to the recovery community. What happened then, my dear?
Well, I was in recovery. I was living in Muskegon then, and my parents not really knowing what to do because I was so young, and sent me to every rehab. Man, I made a song about it. There were so many. Mercy Glen, Glen Bay, Care
River Valley.
Unit, Turning Point. There was so many. It was a Billy Joel song I made up about.
All right, you go, girl, piano girl.
But,
She's creative
that's right.
anyway. Creative.
Yeah.
They just nothing really took root with me because I think I still had the attitude that I was smarter than it. I'll change this aspect of my use, or I'll change the scenery.
And that's common.
that is.
Let me make mention of that. That's common.
Yeah.
for a younger person, especially early in recovery, if I just do this different or do that different.
Right.
And I can continue to use,
Yeah.
but I'll just do it different.
Yeah.
I'll be smarter, hey Mike?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I'll get away with this for a while.
Yeah, and why wouldn't I want to go out as opposed to getting sober? Because that actually takes some work. So
Definitely. And
as
when
you're going through this period in your life and you're hip hopping, hopscotching around the different recovery centers, so you are becoming educated, right?
Yeah.
You're learning something.
Yep. Yes.
So they're planting seeds.
Yeah, I had a big book with 50 signatures in it from, I had a Narcotics Anonymous book with signed and things from, our superstars in our community. But, it just didn't, I would seem to drift back to my old patterns, without the stability. I only knew what I knew then, and eventually I made it into lasting recovery. I went to New Hope House in Sault Ste. Marie for 5 months, and that's
right.
really when it really started to make sense with me, and it registered that this is not, this isn't getting any better. And
Yeah, and it's life and death disease.
When was that?
that was in like 1992. So that was then, and
Is that when you really dealt seriously with your IV use part? You said.
no, I want to say I was through that. I had gotten it. I was incarcerated for a period of time as a teenager. I went to prison because of petty crimes and behavior.
You're a menace to society.
Yeah.
Because you want to feel good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, or bad or whatever. But so that's when I really stopped with the IV use.
Was
But
incarceration.
then with the prison sentence, because that that was something a little different than for me going to jail and thinking that was made me a badass or something
No,
like
not
that.
Really.
Yeah.
You got another word for it.
Yeah.
What, stupid?
No.
Well, you're getting close.
Yeah.
So, but I was so young then and just inexperienced. I was pretty sheltered, but so that's when I stopped that kind of behavior. But I mean, it kind of goes back to the drifting, and I just used a different way. I used different substances in different ways, but it all led me back to the same place.
Right, and that's common to switch substances.
Yeah.
Whether you're an intravenous drug user and maybe you get clean off that, but I can drink a little now, or I can smoke some weed, or I can do whatever it is to you.
Right.
And that's just kind of like they call that switching seats on the Titanic.
Right.
It's still, it's
Yeah.
still not recovery, and things are still going to remain somewhat unmanageable, and probably not get better anytime soon.
Yeah, and being this old, I just really, it seems like somebody else's life almost. It's surreal, that I did go through these things, and, but
What an education!
it was, and I never really felt the consequences though until I went into treatment in the Sioux. I
So
had
what
2
was
children by then.
What was,
2 young children, and I loved my kids. It was my first real experience with some genuine love in my life, and
Sure.
so that was different.
mother's love is, yeah.
Yeah,
I understand it.
it can't keep you clean and,
no.
and sober, but
No.
that was a force that drove me to really want to make the serious changes that led to long-term.
Recovery.
Yeah, so initially, so.
So what was it up at Sioux that kind of turned the tide for you?
I'll tell you, it was, we lived in a house. There was a men's house and a women's house. we were responsible for ourselves, which I don't really see recovery like this anymore. But we all had responsibilities. We were learning to live life on life's terms. And for those of us who, like me, that, I was busy with my drinking and my drugging, so I didn't have
Life skills.
yeah, this set of adult life skills because I was medicated the whole time. So yeah,
So
you
they
learn.
set you up with a handful of folks, I imagine, right?
Yeah, there was like 10 of us in
10,
there,
okay,
and
two handfuls.
we had to plan everything out to take care of ourselves while we were in there. We had to walk to every meeting we went to in the
Okay.
Sioux every
Cook,
season.
clean,
Yeah,
take care of the house,
Yeah.
all that.
volunteer.
Adulting stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and I wish we had more of those types of places to recover for people now.
Yeah,
Randy's
yeah.
house is like that.
Similar to that.
After
Yeah.
a person got their initial treatment, they emphasize all that stuff and have a pretty solid program for people to follow.
That's
right,
good.
They all have to participate in all the activities it takes to run a house with 10 people in it, adults,
Right.
at varying
Degrees of
Attitudes
adulthood.
and good days and bad
attitudes and
days.
recovery. Yeah, and that can be a rat's nest some days.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But you got through it, and
Yeah, I
and,
did.
and it helped you.
Oh, so much better for it. And of course, we worked the 12 steps while we were there.
So do you have like a counselor in the house or somebody who
We had like a
house lady?
grandma that would come. That they were in charge of it.
Hmm.
There was somebody there at all times, but we were allowed to make our own mistakes, so to say. We were allowed to, if you're not going to show up and do what you need to do, you're allowed to fail at that and get the consequences and accept them, or
Right,
get
yeah.
out.
It's cold up
And
there
that's-
too, isn't
It
it?
is cold up there. Yeah, so yeah, it was really good.
So they kind of worked into a new way of living for you, more adult way
Yeah.
of living and how to
Yeah.
conduct yourself. So that's recovery can be that for a lot of folks who just
Yeah, it was-
got missed out on some of that education during their
Formative years.
formative
Right.
years. Thank you, Mike.
Every once in a while I'm awake. That's when
Yeah.
your blood. You
Yeah.
can tell my blood pressure's up. I'm actually functioning.
That was a
Well, because
stinger.
I'll tell you guys,
Yeah, and
it
if
seems
you don't have those skills, no, we can't expect people to know that. They have to be shown.
You're a Cara.
but like yeah, if you can get clean, but it's like, then what? How do you keep that?
You got to practice the
And-
skills.
Yeah, right. And yeah, so I see that a lot, with the jail ministry is people they get clean and sober, but it's like there's barriers and just not a lot of
Well, just like when you're coming
Support.
out of a treatment center,
yes,
there's aftercare.
yeah,
And whether
That
that's
part.
checking in or going to a particular meeting or, aftercare. Like you would do with doctor after surgery. You go back and see him again.
right,
Same thing with recovery from substance abuse. Coming out of a treatment center, they usually have a plan set up for a person. This many meetings a week, then come in and check in, find a sponsor, get busy in the program.
right,
These are thoughts or ideas that are given to folks as they're coming through, a decent treatment center. And otherwise you get folks like Mike who shows up with no guidance and direction other than from a judge. And
That was pretty good
Nudge from
guidance.
the judge.
Right,
Keep my
right.
fanny in his seats for a year.
Right,
he
but I
said.
mean, there's different ways that it can be approached, and I've found some ways seem to be more helpful than a lot of different ways.
yeah, yep,
And
definitely,
that's kind of what you experienced coming out of there, correct?
yes,
You needed
Yes.
some guidance and direction because now what was there and you didn't know.
yeah,
I had a thought, dangerous, but After surgery, after some amount of healing, people generally have physical therapy to bring them back up to physical speed. But with this recovery, we could call it PT, psychological therapy. We seem to need a lot of that, a guide for living, a way to do it. And that's what different treatment centers or sober living facilities try to show a person, is a different pathways to do that.
Right.
The help is available.
Yes,
It
sir.
is. It is.
And written literature about how to do that, so one can see what their path might look like.
Right. Aftercare.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't really have to make it up. You just need to be willing.
To do it.
Definitely.
And that's kind of what you encountered up there, right? You stuck
Yeah.
around and then kind of got into the aftercare part of it.
And it was long enough
Long
for
term.
You
it
mean the
was
quick
5
spin cycle didn't work?
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
like them teenage quick spin cycles.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like so many. It's you get then that I think that's where the people fall through the cracks, because you get the drugs or the alcohols out of your system. You might you can be physically okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then you walk out and what do I do now? Or,
Nature hates a vacuum.
yeah.
Always fills it with something.
Right.
And I needed
That's
to
right.
learn that when I stopped drinking, and I needed to fill it with something.
Yes.
It took quite a while to
Something
get through.
healthy.
Yeah, to do something. It took a long time to get that through to a guy like me. And I can understand it in others. Yeah, I was what they call recalcitrant, or argumentative, obstinate, ignorant. Yeah, that.
Ball of fun.
He also points out that an alcoholic in the cups is an unlovely creature, and I stayed unlovely for quite a while.
Well, sober alcoholics, still.
Oh, yeah, that's part of it. Hey, you can be or you cannot be. Go ahead,
You
Darren.
you can't whisper that word either.
Oh, darn.
yeah.
No, that's gotta go.
Darren
Sorry.
did his job again.
Oh,
Thank you,
man.
Darren. Oh,
I
yeah.
seen- I
Usually
seen
he
the
busts me.
I'm sorry.
Thanks for taking a hit for me, girl.
You want to give him another try?
No, I'm good for now. He's
Good.
quicker than I am.
I noticed that. But yeah, and that's too the growth of the recovery community, much like you described. Coming out of in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, the aftercare today is so much more advanced because they found the need for it, because of the fall off factor that they were encountering, and thanks some good. Oh, wow, so many good people who actually looked into that, said we can do better, and then they created this aftercare programs that we have available today. And boy, if you can get involved, and that first year of recovery can just be very unsettling
Yeah.
for a lot of people.
That aftercare thing's always been there within the AA framework. But for the mainstream to catch a hold of the idea that we needed aftercare, it took a bit of going and doing. There's a lot of ways of getting clean, staying clean, getting sober.
There's no wrong way.
Right.
No wrong way, but if you can't sustain it, where's
Yeah.
the good in it? And it sounds like you tried different routes that weren't
Oh,
sustainable
yeah.
until you found one that was.
Right.
It's true for almost all of us that we don't know until we know.
That's right.
And I seize a hold of it like a drowning man does to a life raft, because I was sinking, and once I found out, I wanted to stay better.
Right. Right.
I mean, once you got better, you wanted to stay better.
Yes, sir.
That's that spiritual awakening thing.
Yeah, and then what do you do with that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like in your case you gave it back, or giving it back.
Well, that's part of the steps, and those last 3, that's the continuation for me. Is I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget. When in the 90s when I was able to get through treatment, and
You had 10 years there, right?
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
And I just was living life, and but without my
Continuing care.
my support from AA or NA or anything like that. It was like, okay, you're better now, and
Not
You made
so much.
mention of the last 3 steps. For some people, I got to explain that real quick. Is the 10th step is to continue doing what I've been doing about checking myself. The 11th step is pray about it, stay in touch with my higher power, and the last one is spread the news, the message about what I've learned in there. And now
Yeah.
you just said that's what you had to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
maybe-
that
Crazy
was-
how that works.
And it was successful. So
Yeah.
we'll talk
One
with
day at a
Cara
time,
little bit
right?
after,
Yes, ma'am.
a little bit more about this after these brief messages from our sponsors. And thank you so much for being part of our program right here on Continuous Miracle Radio, 106.3 WGLF.
Whether I am or not, you're staying on track. Thank you.
Oh,
I got
no,
to mix
I
in the
think that
back
went away.
roads.
That's okay. They're hearing it on back roads anyway.
I know, but I like to throw one out at them every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That's how we got Washington, Oregon.
Someplace put our nuclear waste.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Just got back here with you.
Very, very thoughtful.
I know. Continuous Miracle Radio.
And ahead of your times, too.
I know. Thank you for your service, sir. We're having some interesting conversations at break here. Becoming more enlightened.
La, la, la.
Poor Cara's plugging her ears.
Well, she's learning stuff too. So
Every day.
if you're paying attention. So, Cara, with your continuing recovery, then I see you got a T-shirt on here for us today.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
Reach the Forgotten
Reach the Forgotten
Ministry.
Jail Ministries. So, when and how did you become involved with a little bit of that?
Well,
Because you've been in and around recovery for 40 years.
yeah.
So then I should highlight there's so many aspects of recovery out there where it can be found at the jailhouse ministries.
Definitely.
The Mount Carmel Alamo Club, any AA club, any NA club. And there's so much help available. But this is a person who takes it upon herself to get involved with this organization to reach the forgotten, who are often sitting in our county jails and state prisons and various other places because of their behaviors. No one's
Right.
excusing any of that, but that doesn't mean we forget them. But she took it upon herself to get involved with Reach the Forgotten Ministry. So share a little bit about that with us, please.
Well, being a person in recovery, that has been, it was like almost once a decade. I'd get a drunk driving, or since I got in trouble when I was younger, I didn't commit any more crimes like that. But my drinking would still lead me back. I'd get impaired driving or something like that. And I remember my experiences even when I was young with jail ministry. It was Forgotten Man Ministries then. And being a Christian and a believer, I knew God, but I only knew what I knew, and my guilt, shame, all that.
All those things
kept
all
me
those
away.
overriding factors.
Yeah,
keep
thinking
you
that
away from it.
Access denied, meh. So,
you were wrong. You were wrong.
Yeah.
God loves sinners.
So, yeah, I remembered my experiences there, and in 2015, my DUI, my last one that I've gotten, hopefully ever, but I went to Newaygo County Jail, and I was in there and met a chaplain named Rocky, and he was pretty special to me during my time in there. I couldn't see. He gave me glasses, so I could see. And, for me, doing Bible studies while I was in there, it kept, I was
Kept
trying to
you
use my
focused.
brain again, for one thing. And, just trying to, as I would get my cognitive awareness back and things like
It
that.
takes that too.
It does.
That takes time and a lot of water.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. That's what I've been reminded of.
No.
No, Mike needs to drink more water.
So does Cara, apparently, because I gave her the water bottle and she's using it.
Yeah. It's a promo.
But yeah, it
from-
takes time to become restored
It does.
cognitively.
Yeah.
No different than say you have a hangover. You don't feel great the next day.
Yeah.
Or maybe someday, 2 days in a row. No, a person who's addicted will go back and try and straighten it out by picking up a drink, whereas you're trying to straighten your life out sitting in the county jail where alcohol isn't available and getting
Right.
your cognitive reasoning back.
Yeah,
And-
so
and,
I-
yeah, it takes other stuff. Water, decent diet, and being focused on what's in front of you. Which in your case, because you got a pair of glasses from the pastor, you could
I
actually
see.
read.
Yeah, that's right. And so that's, and I was like the stranger in the strange land. I wasn't from that county. So I was like, all right, adapt because, I was used to adapting. So, but anyways, that got me through that time. I started building, learning more about my relationship with Christ. And I knew I wasn't good at everything I'd ever tried to do, me and just failing, right? But I knew I couldn't fail at being a child of God, because he loves me and
Good
things
point.
like that. So, anyways, that was a spark, and that is what got me through that period of time because I had lost everything then. So fast forward to 3 years ago, I was at a 12-step. I was at a Celebrate Recovery at my church, and one of the chaplains from Muskegon was there, and she was sharing a little bit about what she was doing, and I was like, I've always
was it?
wanted to do that.
Was it a gal?
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
woman.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, why don't you? And so I said, I'm going to do that, so filled out the paperwork and, because you always think, being a felon or what have you, you're going to be, you're not going to be allowed to,
Go
when you
into
want
that.
to go to jail, you won't be allowed to go to jail, right?
They let Mike
So-
in there pretty regular.
Yeah, they let me in out the same day a lot.
Yeah, so I passed that test, and being a person in recovery too, and having all these experiences of watching people detox in jail, and trying to figure it out in jail, and what resources do we have in jail, while we are sober or we are clean, to make a plan,
Yeah, like the aftercare.
Yeah, like the aftercare.
That's
So
great. You're in there. And
I was like,
paying, the consequences of our actions, but we're there. But what do we? There's some time in there that really could be utilized
that's right.
and towards recovery.
Yeah.
And it takes people like Cara here to carry the materials, literature, into the jails, and then help lead some meetings, right?
Yeah,
Or
well-
you mentioned one-on-one work with some of these, because obviously you work with females,
Yeah.
but one-on-one visiting the cells and having conversations, right?
Yeah, and it's like, and not everybody isn't wants to recover. Not everybody has a substance abuse problem in there, but so many have experienced trauma. So we're there. I've experienced trauma. I've been there with the substances. I've been there with the alcohol. It almost killed me. So
For a lot of people who've experienced some traumatic events in their lives, alcohol or narcotics becomes their solution.
right.
And when you're getting cleaned up and paying the consequences for our actions in a county jail, it's a good time to approach people because number one, they're substance free, and number two, they may be more open to discussing some of these things to get to the root of the problem.
Right, right, and that's it's like planting seeds. At least somebody's coherent and You know, they can have a piece of paper when they, you know, if they're thinking about using, they can get that support, or they know, you know, where to go for a meeting, or how to
Coming
reach out. You know, CMH is really big in there too for people in recovery.
CMH is County Mental Health, correct?
Yeah,
Community.
community mental health.
Community Mental Health, excuse me. Go ahead.
Well, one thing to add to what you said about what gets people is sometimes the book says that we've been beaten into a state of reasonableness. And then
Yes.
all of a sudden stuff makes sense to somebody in jail. I noticed
Yep.
that when I was counseling
Yep.
there. What didn't make sense when they were free and close to the dope house, that didn't make any sense. But once they in jail,
Right.
it made a little different sense.
That's right.
Well, in the aspect of using that time productively while you're incarcerated,
Right.
as opposed to whatever else you may be.
Yeah, how do you deal with that anger? How do you deal with that guilt, that shame, that regret, that, you know,
So you're bringing
lingering
tools.
doom of what you're going home to when you get released? You know, things like that that are so real, and especially in Nuevo, in the rural community, you know, these ladies so often feel that they're, you know, that's just their lot in life. You know, that's just how it happened. You know,
Or
that's
feel forgotten.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I want to remind everybody that they are loved, and that recovery, there is encouragement, strength, and hope, and that it's for them. You know, it's for each one of them, not just for somebody that looks like that, not just for this family or
Oh no, take
all
all
those
comers.
things. Yeah, yep, every last one. So, because you know, my experience is I'd see people cast to the side or treated as they weren't as important, or not a, you know, no, because they are.
Yeah.
You know, the ones on the fringe right there. It's like I gravitate to them every time. It's like, don't, you know, you're going to know that you're loved. I love you. Reach the forgotten. You know, Jesus loves you. We've got you. You know, there's,
And you're worth it.
yeah, definitely every time. You know, and
That's what knowing when you were a child that God did for you? Amazing.
you know, I'm loved. You know,
And a whole new fig
who
sprouted.
knew?
You mentioned something a bit ago off the air about starting multiple NA meetings and groups around the rural area there, so that when a person's released, they have someone to be able to contact.
Yeah,
Well-
and speaking of the rural areas, it's critical that these meetings are formed, and they have been. Thank you for your service. And then people actually have a place to attend.
They do, and well, there's NAs. That's Northern Mid Michigan Narcotics Anonymous, and how I.
Is that a webpage?
Yeah, there is. Yep,
Whoa,
there's a
Say it
web
again.
page.
Repeat it.
Northern Mid Michigan Narcotics Anonymous. Reed City, Croton, Big Rapids, Nuevo, and where I came into
Morley.
it was White Cloud, Morley. Yeah, was White Cloud, right by the jail at CMH in White Cloud is kind enough to let us use, you know, their building for a meeting place.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
So.
Thank you,
community
Carol.
mental health.
Yeah. Yep. So that's where I came into that at.
So there's 5 or 6 new meetings up in the northern Michigan area now.
Yeah, and they've been there. We're just we are so spread out. This is what we were talking about, and it is different in a rural community. So many times we don't have driver's licenses, or we've lost everything in our addiction or our alcohol use, and you know, you don't have the support and
Transportation is
yes.
always an issue in the rural
Yeah.
communities. Always has been.
It is.
Yeah.
But I did want to mention too, Reach the Forgotten. I'm allowed to bring in, because I'm H&I for RNA, Narcotics Anonymous, materials, soft cover. AA, we're looking for Daily Reflections, soft cover. And Reach the Forgotten, we use the Life Recovery Bible Study and work the steps with that. There's a workbook that comes with that.
Okay.
We're always looking for these things.
And then where could they send this directly to CMH? These materials. Excuse me, if
They
you're
could send them
requesting
to Inspire Church. Inspire Church would probably grab them. I can give you my address.
No,
But
we don't need that. but
Yeah,
If you can send them to Inspire Church in White Cloud
they're always good. Yeah, and Fremont,
in Fremont. Inspire Church in Fremont.
who has Celebrate Recovery there Monday nights. So they're involved in the recovery community too, and they do life recovery Bible study on Thursdays.
Well, I'm encouraged. Sounds like there's a lot of facilities available up there now with the meetings, and Darren's got an address for us because he's quick on the draw.
Yeah, Inspire Church is 918 Garden Avenue, Fremont, Michigan, 49412.
One more time, sir.
918 Garden Avenue, Fremont, Michigan, 49412.
In any materials, whether it be NA or AA or
Celebrate
any of the-
Recovery, Life Recovery,
yeah, if you'd like to drop them off there,
Jesus
or,
Calling.
or maybe have a case of books sent there for these folks. That's always. a
Well, there's a
consideration.
novel
Yeah, that would be
idea.
amazing because we have permission.
Oh God,
That's
don't-
jail
don't.
approved
It wouldn't be
to
amazing.
pass it right to the women.
Don't shortchange God. Look for a box of books. Show up here pretty quick.
Woohoo!
He shows off like that sometimes.
He does.
Mhm.
I love it.
So it's encouraging. Like I was driving at there, that all these new meetings that are all newer,
Yeah.
with some enthusiasm behind them, and some attendance now starting to come about, thanks to some encouragement that's been put out not only on these airwaves but in the local communities. The outreach that's taking place. We got cars not only going into the jails, but I know there's a handful of other people up there looking and talking to folks and bringing them along a little bit, and that's all wonderful news for the recovery community in general.
Yeah. That's our NA area is camping at Happy Campers all weekend, and there's always something good happening when you're like filling up those places where all that time and energy a person may have spent in their addiction or alcoholism. There's always events going on.
We
Yeah.
got a report from Happy Camper this morning on the phone. The car,
We
somebody
did.
telling what they do and how good it's going. Just check in and let you know it's been a successful adventure.
Yeah, isn't it? I love that.
Yeah, speaking of successful, I understand the bike ride that LaRae had put on was successful yesterday for the surviving child of those folks who perished in that tragedy up in Lakeview. So thank you all for your service, not only to the
Yes.
recovery community, but to that young child that was left behind. So there's good things, people doing good stuff in these communities, and we're highlighting some of that here on this show. Continuous Miracle Radio, WGLM 106.3. What do you think, Mike?
I think
Any
they're
last
staying clean and
words?
sober in the process of helping. That's a great thing.
Absolutely. You got a log joke, right?
No, they ain't got time for it, but I
Oh.
want to tell you about 1812. Maybe not.
We'll just save that for next week.
Okay.
Come
It was
on
a
back.
big war.
Come on back and join us next week. We're gonna have. Who are we gonna? Oh, I know who we're gonna have. I'm gonna make a promo about that.
About the couple marriage counselors.
Yeah, coming over from Detroit to join us. Thank you so much for being part of our recovery community and listening to Continuous Miracle Radio on WGLM 106.3. Let's do good and be good, folks. Have a great week.
Woohoo!
All right.
Oh, you guys. How did I
You did just good.